Good evening. It is Monday, January the 20th, 2025, and it's been a bit of a day. I had several meetings throughout the day for three different projects. One was for a long-term potential writing partner that I might be working with. Second was for a project that we are producing in March, and it was a budget meeting, kind of going over the parameters of the budget and things we need to add, things we need to adjust, and so on as we move forward. And then the third was a Quiet Canadians discussion on the next phases of the marketing for the crowdfunding, also to discuss sort of potential partnerships and also some potential advisors to bring on board to help us get over the hump and raise the financing. So rather than talk about kind of the particulars of all of that, I thought what I would do is say, when you have days like this as a producer or as an entrepreneur, self-employed contractor, where you sort of have to make your own schedule, it's very easy to let the work kind of overshadow some of the long-term visions that you might be having for how you want to engineer your year. And something that I have been developing lately is this idea of focusing on identity-based habits, asking myself, who do I want to become? This is from James Clear's Atomic Habits, and using some exercises to kind of figure out, okay, well, if I'm here now, what's the kind of person that I want to be a year from now? Who do I want? What's the identity of the person I want to be? This can come down to things like, instead of saying I want to run a marathon, it's say I want to be a runner. I want to do things that runners do, which changes your identity and changes your habit thinking in terms of what you are. One of the suggestions that has come out of some of my research is to identify what's known as a lead domino, which is a habit or an action that will trigger positive momentum across other areas. And it's about setting up kind of a power habit that leads to positive habits in other directions. In my research, the concept has led to the idea of developing what's known as a morning power hour, which integrates my personal, my professional, and my physical development all into one foundational habit. And this habit sets the tone for the entire day, aligns with my goals, and acts as a trigger for other productive behavior. And so here's how it looks. And this is what I think something that we can all adapt. Make sure that, we take these little actions every day that lead to the person we are aspiring to be at the end of the year. The purpose of this is to ignite energy, create focus and intention, and ensure momentum for my personal life, for my production company, and my long-term vision. And here's how it's structured. First 15 minutes are physical activation for energy. This can involve quick physical activity like stretching, bodyweight exercises, or short, high-intensity interval training sessions. And the why behind this is that physical movement releases endorphins and sharpens focus and primes you for the day. So getting out of bed and having a sip of water and then immediately jumping into some kind of physical activation for about 15 minutes. Some examples that can work with this are 20 push-ups, 10 minutes of yoga, jumping jacks, doing some weight training, and so on. But just making sure that the physicality gets you going in the morning, gets you primed. Tony Robbins has a priming exercise as well, which I think works well as well. And it's kind of just a breathing exercise that just gets your heart pumping. The second part of this is 15 minutes of creative planning, and this is a trigger for professional momentum. What you do here is you focus on one high impact task for, say, your business or for your production company in our case. We asking, what's the one thing that if done today will move my company closer to my vision? And then to write down 3 key actions that I'm going to take that lead to accomplishing that one thing that can move my company closer to my vision. So it's really just prioritizing and taking what would be the most important thing today that I could accomplish that would move my company in the right direction. The next 15 minutes are for personal growth, and this is to trigger self-development. And this is where you read, you journal, or you meditate. You're focusing on topics when you're reading like leadership, filmmaking, self-improvement, or industry-related articles or things like that. So whatever your business is, you read something that is related to your industry. In my case, it would be reading books on filmmaking, or reading articles on filmmaking, or watching a YouTube video on filmmaking, and journaling and meditating. So an example for some journal prompts that I might use would be asking questions like, what am I grateful for today? What does success look like for me today? And what challenge can I tackle to improve my skills today? And then just writing down what the answers to those are. And then the final 15 minutes of this hour are relationship building. And this is a trigger for connection and building connection. So ideas here are sending a thoughtful message or email to someone in my network, building or maintaining key connections, quick thank you notes to collaborators, reaching out to an industry peer. Why is this the ideal lead domino for myself? First of all, it's multidimensional. It's incorporating fitness, focus, creativity, and connection. It's aligning with my goals, which are to develop myself personally, build my production company, build myself, and to grow my relationships. It triggers positive momentum. It starts the day with wins set to high energy tone, making it easier to carry out other habits. So if you can start your day with some quick victories, this is great. And it's also very adaptable. Like even on busy days, this is scheduled for an hour, but even on busy days, you can compress this down to 30 minutes. So you could take some of these 15-minute sections and reduce them to 5 minutes if you needed to, just to get it in without losing impact. Progress, not perfection. So, an hour a day would be 100% on the list, but 20 minutes is still pretty darn good. And even 30 minutes is okay. As long as you create that morning power habit, the hour part can be malleable. So there might be some days where I have an hour and I can just put all of my energy into getting through that hour and getting this morning power hour in. And there are going to be some days where I'm going to have only 20 minutes or maybe 30 minutes. And instead of saying, well, I only have 30 minutes, so it's not worth it, I can adapt this and reduce the amount of time that I put into it. The objective here is to form the habit itself. The key to habit stacking and to ensure consistency is to anchor the habit to existing routines. So for example, after brushing my teeth, I start my morning power hour. Or after my coffee, I open my journal. So it doesn't have to be 1 hour of consistent, like 1 hour from beginning to end. You can have 15 minutes, then grab your coffee, sit down, do your journaling, things like that. Like the objective here is to anchor it to current habits that you already possess. By consistently practicing the habit, you create a ripple effect across all areas of your life: health, creativity, business, and relationships. And in the end, you become a more productive and a more passionate human being because you feel as though you're starting the day off right. You started the day off with wins. You've started the day with building momentum, and the rest of the day can flow naturally from that. Building that habit is my goal for the year, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what a morning power hour might look like. Do you have something similar? Do you have a morning power hour? Do you have a morning power routine that you go through? Would you like to know more about some of the details about what I'm doing, and would you like me to do more videos on some of this sort of personal habit type stuff as an independent film producer? If so, make some comments below. Meanwhile, subscribe and like if you're liking these videos. This is currently day 20, speaking of habits. This is day 20 of 20 of my 30 videos in 30 days. I said at the beginning that if I got 85%, if I was able to do a video 85% of the time, I would consider that to be a success. I'm already 20 of 20, so I am hitting 100%. It's been a really good exercise so far. And when I look back on these videos a year from now, I'm hoping that I look back at them and go, well, this was the catalyst in the beginning of something very meaningful and very special, and that it really did change me for the better. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.